Okay, let's get stuck in. Today we're doing a deep dive into a source tackling, well, a pretty significant challenge in science, navigating the whole complex world of computational drug discovery.
Right.
If you've ever thought about using computers to, find new medicines, setting up those analysis pipelines, linking tools, handling data, it can be a really steep learning curve,
Yeah.
especially if you're just starting out.
Yeah, that's exactly the hurdle this source zooms in on. It introduces something called TeachOpenCADD. It's an open source platform built using Python,
Okay.
and it's specifically designed to give practical solutions and, importantly, training templates for these kinds of computational tasks.
Gotcha. So the mission here seems pretty clear then. It's about empowering you, the listener, with the sort of specific skills you need in this area,
Exactly, and giving you reliable starting points for your own research projects.
all using open resources, which is key.
Absolutely. Leveraging readily available open stuff. And what's really interesting is how they do it. The whole thing is structured around these interactive Jupyter notebooks.
Ah, the talktorials, right. I saw that term.
Yeah, they call them talktorials. It's like a clever blend because they mix the theory, the background explanation with actual hands-on coding. So you're doing it as you learn.
I like that. That active learning approach makes a big difference, I think. And it seems the platform's grown quite a bit.
It has. There was a 2022 update which added 12 new notebooks. So originally there were 10, now it's up to 22 total.
Wow. Okay.
And they cover a really good spread of common tasks in, well, both cheminformatics, applying computation to chemistry, and structural bioinformatics, which is more about understanding 3D biological structures computationally.
Right. So what kind of things can you actually learn?
Well, a big one is just accessing data, programmatically pulling data from crucial databases like Chemblel for bioactivity data or the PDB for protein structures,
Uh-huh.
KLIFS for kinase specifics, PubChem for compounds. Using Python, you learn how to fetch exactly what you need, maybe compound properties, assay results, structures right into your workflow.
So say you were looking at a cancer target like EGFR.
Hmm.
You could learn how to automatically grab all the known EGFR structures from PDB,
Yep.
or find compounds that hit EGFR in Chimble, or maybe similar molecules in PubChem. It connects the dots between these like separate data sources.
Exactly that. It shows you how to link them. Then, building on that data access, they really get into the structural tasks. So
Okay.
you learn how to spot potential pockets on a protein where a drug might actually bind using tools for binding site detection.
Finding the target zone.
Right. Then predicting how a molecule might fit in there using molecular docking software. And crucially, analyzing the specific interactions, the hydrogen bonds, hydrophobic contacts between the protein and the potential drug.
So you find the spot, predict the fit, and then understand that molecular handshake, basically.
Yes, precisely. And they show how to chain these steps into like bigger automated pipelines. There's a really neat example in the source for lead optimization.
Huh?
Yeah, they start with a known molecule bound to a protein sticking with EGFR, and the pipeline automatically searches for similar molecules, docks them, analyzes the interactions
Uh-huh.
to sort of screen potential improvements computationally. And they show this pipeline actually rediscovered gefitinib, which is a known potent EGFR drug just starting from a weaker molecule.
That's a powerful example. It shows how you can really apply this stuff.
Totally. It connects different steps into a real discovery process.
And it's not just looking at static pictures of molecules, is it?
No, good point. They also introduce molecular dynamics simulations. Using tools like OpenMM and MD analysis, you can actually watch how molecules move and wiggle and interact over time.
So you get a dynamic view, understanding flexibility.
Exactly, moving beyond just rigid structures.
And I think I saw something about machine learning too, laying groundwork.
Yes, they touch on that. They cover how you represent molecules numerically so that computers, specifically machine learning models, can understand them. It's a really fundamental step for applying things like deep learning to predict properties or activities.
Okay, stepping back a bit.
Hmm.
For you listening, what does all this mean? It seems this platform is really designed to kind of lower that barrier to entry,
Yeah.
making these sophisticated computational methods, which might otherwise seem really daunting, much more approachable, more understandable.
And a really critical point the source makes is about reliability. They stick to strong software practices, automated testing, continuous integration, things like that.
Right, the nuts and bolts that make science work.
Exactly. This ensures the code, the pipelines are robust and reproducible. It all aligns with FAIR principles, making sure resources are findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable.
That reproducibility focus, it's just vital in computational work. And access seems pretty straightforward, too.
Oh yeah, super accessible. You can just read the notebooks online like a web page. Or, and this is cool, run them interactively in your browser using Binder. No installation needed.
Zero setup. Nice.
Or if you want to really dig in, customize things, integrate it into your own projects, you can easily install everything locally with standard tools like Conda. They've thought about different user needs.
So wrapping up, TeachOpenCADD really comes across as this comprehensive, well put together, and highly accessible resource.
Definitely.
Built on open tools, open data, giving you practical skills and reusable workflows for computational drug design.
It really is. And, this leads to a bigger thought, something perhaps for you to consider. As platforms like this make complex computational science more open, more accessible, how might that fundamentally change things?
Like who gets to participate?
Exactly. How might this distributed access broaden who can actually get involved in cutting-edge research and innovation, especially in demanding fields like drug discovery? Something to think about.